The world is moving rapidly towards an age that relies heavily on what modern technology has to offer. It is what wakes us up in the morning. It is the last thing we hold before we close our eyes. Our society has become very dependent on modern electronics. In fact, based on a study conducted by Pennsylvania State University, 77% of their respondents even claim that without it, success cannot be achieved so easily. This is the age we live in. This is the digital age. With the world going towards this direction, it was only a matter of time before businesses took notice, and to survive, it is essential for these entities to adapt. Over the years, businesses have been leaking their offers online. It started with simply creating websites just to reach as many people as possible. Eventually, even their products can be bought online, which has put some shops in high streets to close. Predictably, if you have anything that you can offer the public, going digital is something you might be considering. The problem is, you might not have the competency to design your own website. Times like these is when you might need the help of digital transformation consulting agencies. But first, if you're new here, consider subscribing to this channel to continue receiving great weekly videos on consulting. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so that you can get informed every time I publish a new video. First question you might ask is, what do these agencies do? The main function of digital transformation consulting agencies is to make your services more attractive to online users by making functions more convenient and easier. These strategies are employed to help your business become more successful online, with the hopes that this will translate to real-world success as well. The advantages of working with consulting agencies are numerous, but this can be summed up into the following. 1. Digital transformation framework. This is at the core of what these agencies offer. Agencies will be working with you in coming up with a roadmap structured for what you are aiming to achieve. This is essential because this will act as your guide in becoming successful in the endeavor that you are looking forward to achieving, and having someone else lay these strategies out for you is necessary so you can see what needs to be done free from personal biases. Personal bias is an important point to highlight because this is one of the pitfalls when turning digital. A strong resistance to change, having an expert lay it out for you gives every chance for the doubts to be answered by someone who is more experienced in the field. This brings gravitas to the transition, which can hopefully turn into a unified struggle across the entire establishment. 2. Reduce the need of manual labor. As unfortunate as this sounds, manual labor makes up the bulk of any budget. Having to allocate specific jobs to individual people can be costly, and this can lead to hiring more to do the same function as you grow. Making the decision to go digital gives you the opportunity to hire an individual to make the transition. If done well, you only need to pay a huge sum for the transformation, and then one individual from then on to ensure that the entire system is running correctly. This can save you a huge sum, especially in the long run. In addition to saving more of your budget, it also increases process effectiveness. You can also take away the dull work from your employees, giving them the chance to focus their efforts on more pressing matters that require their attention. And more importantly, you become more responsive to clients, which is a vital aspect of any venture that can sometimes be overlooked. 3. Sustaining the transition. As mentioned earlier, having a person more experienced in the digital industry helps in sustaining the move. This is done so by pointing out to individual employees what they need to develop during the move. By doing so, you avoid having disgruntled individuals in your workforce by making them feel that they are still a vital piece to the puzzle of your entire operation. This issue needs to be addressed because for most of the people who make up your manual workforce, a transition to digital is a trying time because they think they are being replaced, which might put them out of their source of living. Continue to make these individuals feel important, then their urge to resist the upcoming change will be lessened to some extent. If you see your venture going towards these directions, then you are a step closer to making one of the biggest decisions in your life. Before proceeding, however, it is a good reminder to set up objectives with your digital transforming agent before constructing the roadmap towards successful digitalizing. Objectives could simply include transferring products and services into a digital system, optimizing current processes, or completely overhauling your entire operation into a different business model. Once you have come up with certain objectives, only then can you come up with the roadmap that is essential to keep you on track to successfully digitalizing your entire operation. Digital transformation strategies. When coming up with a strategy to digital success, it is important to keep in mind that this is determined by your digital maturity, because this will help you in eventually sustaining the entire operation and being able to determine where else you can improve. According to IBM, there are 3 paths that you can take for a successful digital transformation. 1. Integrate digital operations before enhancing customer experience. One of the paths that you can take is simply digitizing your existing operations first. This is most suitable for those heavily reliant on physical assets, such as government operations that provide physical documents that the public might need. By doing so, you give yourself a chance to improve overall public experience. From there, you can add services that will then help improve the overall customer experience, such as being able to pay online or maybe add same-day processing or next-day collection. Having these have always resulted in positive feedback. An added benefit of going down this route is giving your current employees more time to come up with ideas that add value to the overall success of your operation. These ideas could become the very services that result in positive clientele experience. Hitting 2 birds with 1 stone, as others might say. 2. Interact with current clients first, then digitally integrate. This is a more inclusive pathway where you involve your clients, existing and projected, from the get-go. Gather their thoughts through any means necessary, however it would be a more seamless transition if you use digital platforms such as social media or emails. Additionally, these lines should remain open even after this period. In most occasions, topics such as personalized products and services, as well as the speed of delivering these, should be at the top of your concerns when going into these conversations. Having a preconceived idea of what the public wants does not propagate bias, but shows that you're already thinking of them beforehand. Once you have these data, you can proceed to integrating them into your digital venture. 3. Do both simultaneously. If resources permit, you can do both simultaneously if you feel like one is just important as the other. Again, ensure that your entire team is up for this, because doing so might lead to going backwards and forwards, which could eventually burn out your team. There is no path that is more ideal than the other. It will depend on what you value most and whether or not your team has the resources and enthusiasm to see it through. As the leader, you need to ensure that you remain reasonable in the decisions you make and choose on what is best suited for you, and not just because someone else was successful in doing it one way. Choosing who to partner with. If going digital is something that you have always been convinced in doing, it is just as important to know who to partner with, and the qualities that you take into consideration should include the following. 1. Expertise. This is why knowing what your end goal is important, because this will determine with whom you will partner with. Every digital transformation consultant has different expertise that could range from back office transformation to boosting sales. If you want to achieve your goals, you wouldn't hire someone who is an expert on the former when you are aiming for the latter. Review every consultant's past experience and the level of success they achieve to equally optimize your time and budget. 2. Objectivity. Access their objectivity because at the end of the day, they are human, and humans will always have their own biases. Being able to put that aside and aid you in achieving your goals is what the best consultants do. Not every consultant is the same, and being able to assess each one is just important as making the decision to go digital. We live in an age where each and every one is heavily reliant and is expecting every venture or business to exploit every modern technology that the tech industry has to offer. cashless payments, speedier processing, everything done with just one click of the finger. If you do not want to be left behind and remain relevant in the modern age, being able to adapt is necessary. However, it is understandable that this is not for everybody, and a little bit of manual work is still vital. Just have a hard look. Compromise if you can, and maybe this decision will take you further into the future than you ever thought you would. If you like this video, give us a like so we can make more videos like this one. And tell us in the comments section below what type of videos you want. Lastly, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more weekly videos.